Here we are, instructional video on a Rampage motorcycle lift and how to put one on your semi-truck. We bought this lift used, got to looking at how I could do this with tools that were on board the truck, and using 6x6s was the only solution I could come up with. I bought some angle iron, I used some existing holes in the frame. I had to drill holes in the angle iron, and then I used all thread and came down through the channel and through the 6x6s and bolted them to the frame, and then bolted the lift to the 6x6s. Same thing on this side. We did all this with just a drill, some drill bits, and a cutoff saw. Was able to do all of this, and you can see that here's where I went through with the all thread through the 6x6s to secure the lift to the 6x6s. Alright, now we'll show you how easy it is to load a bike onto a semi. Alright, instead of running power cables all the way up to my coach batteries, I just put one marine battery back here, ran my power cables off of that, and I put a battery tender plug on it, and that way anytime I'm running my generator, it's real easy for me to just run an extension cord up here and let it recharge the battery, which I'm about to load the bike. So there's my extension cord running from my 110 source, and I just let it charge for as long as I'm riding the bike, and it's ready to go. And I will show you here in a second. Alright, first thing you got to do is pull this pin, because this secures the slide area to the main frame. Once you have the pin pulled, let the winch out. It lets this whole frame area roll back. And it gets over. All the way to the ground. Now you take this pin, you secure your guide pole, and you pull this so that it lets the bucket come all the way to the bottom. Once this has arrived at the bottom, you take that pin, put it back in this hole down here so that it doesn't let this bucket come forward. Take the tension off, and now it releases the bucket so that it's got a little bit of flex in it. Now I got these little Harley straps that go around the handlebars. You can also buy hooks that hook right to the forks, but I got these little air dams, and so that kind of would get in the way. You can either have one or the other. So for the moment, I'd rather have the air dams. Make sure you leave the bike on the kickstand while you're doing this part of it. Now you don't have to get this part really tight, because as soon as I pull my winch up, you'll watch the bike will rotate up and it'll suck this tire all the way up against this here. So now this part is clicked in. Release enough tension to remove that pin so that this bucket moves forward. And you can see that these tightened up a lot. These come out real tight. Thing we've learned is if your exhaust sits kind of low, a piece of wood comes in real handy. Just set it right there. That way you don't drag your exhaust when it comes up to the top. In, back up here in the top, and release the tension off this pin so you can remove it. Then you install your pin for travel, and you resecure. I put a strap around the wheel here so that it can't move back and forth. I put one from this crash bar down to this little eyelet I drilled in here, and I put one from that crash bar down to the frame. That keeps the bike really nice and secure, and it keeps it from wobbling back and forth. But that's as easy as it gets, folks. You can carry your Harley on your truck too. You got to have a little bit of a stretch frame. Something we have learned, once you drive this bike or drive your truck down the road 30-40 miles, get out and check all your straps, because everything gets a little bit loose in the ratchet strap, and just snug it up once or twice in the first, say, 100 miles, and then it'll ride for thousands of miles and it won't have any issues. It doesn't move. Everything stays nice and secure. And we put a cover, we put a moving blanket over the bike, and then we put a cover over top of that, and that keeps the majority of the dirt off of it. Obviously, the best way to treat your bike is to have a garage on your truck, but we don't have one of those yet. But someday we will have a garage.